Buddy, I've been really excited for this one. This one's been a work in progress for a little over a week. Um, kind of marrying a few ideas. So yesterday, in between rounds of the RCQ. Okay, hold on, pause. Let me read a chest cold open real quick. What up, Spikelings? It's me, Sheriff of the Wild West that is modern, aspiring Spike, and today I'm going to bring some order to this lawless format. Too long have we let the casuals roam. So with my trusty anti-casual birthing ritual deck, we're going to clean up these leagues and deliver multiple trophies where they belong. Me! So sit back, relax, and abandon all subtlety as we malevolently force our way through these leagues and like, comment, and only nice things. And gift us up for September. Yeah, also, yeah, subscriptions are 25% off during the whole month of September. So if you want to watch the stream ad-free, it's a good month to do so. So a few different ideas. Anticasual Vestige. This has been a card that we've played in a couple of different shells now. We played it in a mono white build right when it came out. It seemed like a good direction to go, but it seemed like a little bit worse than both the blue white control Riddler deck. It seemed worse than the blue white energy aggro deck, and I think it was also worse than the Bant ritual deck too. So then we adapted Anticasual Vestige into blue white yesterday, and I liked this build. I would play a little bit more of it too. I don't know if I like the Phantoms main. I know it's used to main decking Phantoms. It's weird on the mana in this build to have like the double colored on turn 2 in your Eldrazi Temple deck. I'm not sure, but I thought this build was pretty interesting. I do think that this deck is better. So one, I've had my eye on Fanatic of Rhonas plus Quantum Riddler for a little bit, right? Where this allows you to go, you can play Fanatic on turn 2, and then you can warp your Riddler, and then you have 5 mana left to play with the rest of that turn 3. And what's kind of cool is that Anticasual Vestige is a really good mana sink for the Fanatic, since it's just a clean top 4 pay. This doesn't have any colorless requirements. You can just slap that bad boy into play. In this deck, you also have like the mana sink of like hard cast Riddlers after you've warped, K-Command, Thought-Knot Seer, the colorless Malevolent Rumble, Birthing Ritual, Oculus. You can utilize the green mana on Fanatic pretty well in this build. There's an extra overlapping step too, where Oculus and Anticasual Vestige are a little bit of a combo too, where if you just turn 3, even if you don't have any of these starts, although if you do have some of these starts, it can get really crazy. But you could just like Eldrazi Temple, Anticasual, and then put an Oculus into play on turn 3, and then you have this for later, which is pretty interesting. Anticasual Vestige is really good with Birthing Ritual. It's a leaves trigger, so you can go turn 2 Birthing Ritual, Anticasual, sack it and get another Vestige or a Thought-Knot Seer or an Oculus or a Riddler and still put something like another Ritual or Fanatic or Oculus into play. And then you could also put like Thought-Knot Seers into play too. Put, just like, I don't know. The build has felt really, really strong. And then Rumble is a really nice card that kind of ties the room together a little bit, gives you consistency, also helps fill the yard for your Riddlers, helps you dig for your Birthing Rituals, which are really strong in this build. So, additionally, Simic Ritual, this archetype of like, you draw a bunch of cards, you have a bunch of pitch spells, you use Ritual as a crazy value engine. That shell has had a decent amount of success with Modern. It's something that kind of started on the stream, and a lot of people have had some great tech and made some adaptations. The problem with that archetype is that you are very weak to Boros. I'm not saying that this build is going to be particularly good against Boros, but I think it's much better. Like, just having a bunch of gigantic creatures and K-Command at least seems to be a much better formula to me. Where, like, Riddler is good against them, Oculus is good against them, K-Command is good against them. The Vestige being a ground creature is maybe not as powerful, but, like, just having a bunch of big, gigantic flyers, I think is a better formula with the ability to go over top with Fnatic. We're also playing Explosives in the sideboard, kind of largely for the Boros matchup. To some extent, Starting Town also really enables building the deck this way in a way that would be very tough without it. I think Starting Town also helps with your being able to Explosives for a little bit more than you would be able to otherwise, because being able to like kill like Flage and Fable sometimes comes up. I think that's the main beats I wanted to hit on the deck tech. The list has been testing really well. It's been really, really fun to play. People don't know what the heck's going on. It's a good time. Position, so some good stuff going on there. Not as high synergy as this side, but certainly lower floor or higher floor. Okay, so we're on the draw here. I think we could put back Fnatic and then just try to like Rumble to set up the Oculus. I think it's kind of nice to keep both of these into the hand. I do really like having turn 2 Fanatic, but I think this specific hand wants to put it back. Did you see the art for the Arena Spider-Man cards? Looks like AI slop. I haven't seen them. I'm assuming they're the same we're getting on Magic Online. I generally recommend being sure stuff is AI slop before calling it that, because I just don't get so worried about artist feelings getting hurt. Because I saw like some people posting comments of like Mia's stills from Miyazaki movies, and they're like, this looks like AI slop to me, but it's just the AI is emulating the actual art, you know. All right, let's go ahead and force this steel cutter. But maybe wanting a blue card so I could just play the Subtlety next turn, because this is gonna put 4 cards in the yard, so it's gonna be 1 short. Yeah, I'll just take the Riddler as a possible blue card here. But I haven't seen them. Not that I'm honestly too interested in them, I guess, either. I'm going to be quite honest. Okay, Steel Cutter, so not something we can Subtlety here. Hopefully they play a creature. Interesting that the Prowess deck seems to be picking back up in popularity, too. Alright, so I'm down to 17. They could still play like a DRC here. Maybe they're thinking about darting the spawn, although they would have done that pre-combat, or pre-damage, right? They go in and crack the bauble, they take a peek at my top card. Then they pass the turn. Okay. So let's draw a card. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go exile the token and cast the Oculus. Seems good to me. Maybe we could even draw a different blue card and then like pitch that card to Subtlety, then Riddler. Prowess was second and fourth in Moda RCQ. Nice. Yeah, I do think that Prowess deck is maybe a little underplayed. I've been pretty impressed by it the last couple times I've played against it. It's been like certainly like performing better than I would have kind of expected it to. Sam Combo got third. Is the deck finally real? I don't. The thing, I'll say this. I don't remember the last time I've played against Sam Combo and been like, Sam Combo. It's very hard for me to feel like this is a deck that is intimidating to come up against. And I'm like, I would even say like of the decks that people play, I would just choose to play against Sam Combo all day. It just is so easy to play against. I feel. Not that it doesn't have tricks, and not that it can't be pretty fast, but I'm not a believer in Sam Combo. It straight up can't be Boros like resolving a Goblin Bombardment. Usually, like just resolving Bombardment is like we are dead. All right, so they flipped a Lightning Bolt off the iteration. Maybe they have land Dart or land another Bolt to kill my Oculus. Seems like what they're gonna do here is they're gonna attack too. I could block. It's not really. I guess because of the trample, it's not. Blocking doesn't seem to matter. All right, so they bolt the manifest. We take 3. Seems like they are not going to hit their land drop this turn. Nice that the iteration showed us they had the bolt. I wonder if they could have sequenced differently to not show us. A land so I could go Fanatic plus Riddler would be kind of good. Okay. So here's the Fanatic. We get to draw 2 off the Riddler, and then see if we draw a blue card. We don't draw a blue card. All right, I'm going to leave the Oculus back. I think that this is a good amount of juice to overcome our opponent here with. Now, of course, I really would like to keep both these in play so I can just like dump my hand, or hand plus the Warped Oculus. How do you feel about filter lands in these kind of decks? Helps with the double pips. A little bit. I think that they're just generally worse mana fixers than Yavimaya, Prismatic Vista, or Starting Town. Vista in general particularly gives you like a lot of resiliency to Wasteland, and then the other. Okay, Sada can't Subtlety this. Those other kind of effects are like the Ghost Quarter effects. which have been pretty popular lately. Okay, let me block here, and then here. No blocks here. I guess we could maybe die to Mutagenic Growth plus Violent Urge. Did I say Wasteland? I said Ghost. I meant Ghost Quarter. I might have said Wasteland. Yeah, Reflecting Pool's kind of interesting. Maybe you could play like one. I wasn't sure if I wanted to play the third forest. Maybe the first Reflecting Pools could be good there. Okay, so they do Violent Urge the unblocked token here. So seems like they're gonna try to kill me with the Mutagenic Growth. Oh no, they're gonna put me to 3, so I'm dead to a Bolt. Also, I'm pretty restricted on my blue mana now. Pretty good chance I'm gonna want to like sack this Oculus into a Thought-Knot Seer this turn. So let me go ahead and attack with this. Try to get the Bolt out of their hand. So we see another Oculus. Let me go ahead and sack this Fanatic to get another Oculus. And then we do see the Thought-Knot Seer, so we sack this Oculus to get the Seer. And then we take the Bolt. Nice. So they have no spells in their hand at the moment. We just have to hold. I think they've also used... I guess I thought that was their third Bolt. That's only their second. Alright. No creatures there. We can Eternalize the other Fanatic if we don't draw anything. Might also be okay to go to 1, although that puts us in dart range. Yeah, Pool can tap for colorless if you have a colorless land in play. We have used that tech before. It's pretty cool. Alright, so I guess we'll just see if that coast is clear. Okay, so they were holding that for the Steel Cutter. So if I send with everything, they're definitely going to 6. And then we have 8 more power, so they're going to have to block at least the Seer. Yeah, I think we just send with the team here. Fun first game of the day, huh? Not on the draw against Boros or against Mill for round 1. Amazing. Oofta, the 51 months. Maido is a Sokka dialect for grading Japanese. Nice. Yeah, my plan is to study up on the language in October. I was something I really wanted to do, but I've got so much on my plate this year. So maybe I want to put Subtlety into play so that I could block a Slickshot Show Off if they go like Iteration into Show Off plus thing. I guess also if I put this Subtlety into play, then I can maybe turn it into a Quantum Riddler, which could let me evoke Subtlety, or maybe I could draw Force of Negation. So maybe that's a little bit minor, but it did happen. Alright, so let's draw 2. No blue cards, so kind of at the mercy of our opponent's top decks. Really just a Bolt, though. No Bolt. So up a game against Prowess. Sideboarding is going to be a little weird, I guess. I like the idea of playing these explosives. They seem like on 0 or 1, 0 to clear up tokens, or 1 will be generally pretty good. Force of Negation on the draw for Steel Cut. I think 3 Force is probably a good number. I could maybe even see wanting the 4th Force on the draw, though. I think it's maybe just explosives for Seers, despite the Seer being very clutch that game. Endurance is also not bad against them. I might want to go up 1 Endurance over 1 I guess Oculus is good to stabilize, but it can be kind of clunky. Like if you just draw 2 Oculuses early, it's awkward. I think I want to trim a Vestige too, and then maybe we'll get that. I do want 1 more blue card, so it's kind of weird that blue card being Force, but I think that seems okay. Let's do this on the draw and then switch back up. How did yesterday go? I think we were 2-2 drop, 3-2 drop. We were pretty unlucky in our die rolls and our opponents running hot. It was my recollection of yesterday. I did like that mono green deck. I want to play it again at some point this week. Wait, this is 61. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, I meant to cut this Oculus. Very excited to show this one off today. Some days I just like wake up buzzing, and this is one of those days. Okay, this hand does really need to draw a green or a blue source because this can only be one or the other. But just being able to like Birthing Ritual into Vestige and like sack it or potentially, I guess I could just draw any color if I go for the Vestige. Okay, green or blue. So I guess I'll play the starting town. Have I brewed anything with Birthing Ritual, Bygone Colossus, the 9 mana value warp creature from EOE? I mean, there aren't really 10 drops, you know. Progenitus isn't good. Like, I think a turn 3 Progenitus is like, if that's all your deck does, is put Progenitus in play on turn 3, I think it loses to almost every modern deck. I don't think there's almost any modern deck that is particularly intimidated by that, besides maybe Blink. Maybe Blink would lose to that some amount of the time. Okay, no 1-drop, no 2-drop. Maybe they have like Spell Pierce here. I think I'm still gonna play the Ritual. Nice. Hope you're having a good start to fall. I am, although fall is the 22nd. It's my sister's birthday, so I always remember the first day of fall. Although in Texas, it really does feel like September 1st. That's fall. This has been like the most mild summer we've had in a really long time. It's been really, really rainy, thankfully. All right, let's go ahead and force this. Yeah, I don't know what hand they capped. You know what? Let's play around Consign. It's a little bit weird, but it does seem like Consign is a kind of a likely card for them to have, right? So I think we can bait the Consign on the Birthing Ritual trigger. Aren't I a twin? Yeah, but I have 3 sisters. All right, Ritual trigger on the stack. Is it you saying casual, not casual is a bit? Yeah, it's a bit. I think it's very funny. We'll circle back to this every time I do it, I guess. But yeah, I just think it's kind of funny to say anti-casual. So I really want to anti-casual this Oculus into play after I sack it to the Ritual. What is this? Dismember? Blood Maul my Ritual. Okay, well, now I have a fish, so don't you feel dumb. They only have 3 cards in their hand. Cheating something like Kozilek could be decent. It just doesn't seem like this is a format where you can kill on turn 2 with Neoform. So like trying to go Ritual into the 9 mana warp creature, any removal spell, anything like Solitude blows you out. Into Kozilek, which also, you know, dies to Solitude. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, I think, you know. Like the 10s are worse than the 7s and the 8s. Which is unfair, but, you know, bring that, you know, that's not my department. I just Endurance. I don't draw the land. Yeah, we'll just hold up K command / Endurance now. Get in there, fish token. Yeah, call it the Rizzler and nobody bats an eye. Call it anti-casual and everyone loses their minds. Your Shape Anew deck had me brewing Archway of Innovation, Shape Anew Duretti. Ooh, I would love to see the build if you want to post it. Okay, we don't have a. Ouch. I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the Endurance here. If I can get them, if they like just have another Bolt, or if they go like Dart Sack a land, this is gonna be like pretty good value. And of course, the longer you wait on K command, the better it's gonna be. Also a bit better against Consign, which they could still have. Bounce this? Heated. Okay. We do have them tapped out. So I might just Vestige the Oculus into play. Let's see what we draw. We draw a Fanatic. Fanatic seems really nice. Because I could go like Vestige into Birthing Ritual next turn. So yeah, let me just go Fanatic and then I guess I'm gonna exile the token and draw a card. It might be better for me in this spot to instead try to bait try to bait Consign, but I feel like I'm too likely to give them the second Steel Cutter token. I'm gonna take a lot of damage if I do that. But I thought that was kind of an interesting thought. Okay, there's the third iteration, or I think there was another one that we shuffled back in. Or Birthing Rituals kind of combo. That's the idea, baby. What is Anticasual? So this is Anticausal Vestige, but it is spelled the same way, so I just think it's kind of funny to say. I do love the casuals, though. Alright, lets me not block with this Fanatic. Oh, hard to regret that too much. The trample on the Steel Cutter is a lot. It's funny that they alchemied that back away, right? Should crack this now, right, if they have any consigns in their deck. It's definitely not spelled the same way. Wait, hold on. Oh, you're right, it's not spelled the same way. There's supposed to be a U. Ah. Steel Cutter still has +1/+1 trample. Yeah, on Magic Online they don't do the silly updates. I wonder if they would ever have a counter spell for the Oculus. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and cast the Vestige. Then hopefully cast 2 Birthing Rituals. If they do counter this, we'll have enough cards in the graveyard for Birthing Ritual. Now we go cast 1 Birthing Ritual. 2. Player land. I'm so excited for this deck. So excited for this deck. Oh, they might. What if they consign replicate these triggers here? Look at the cards. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put just another Vestige into play. I think that's better than a Riddler here because I have this other trigger on the stack. So draw a card, put an Oculus into play. And then I guess we go ahead and just untap our Fanatic. And then we have this other yard to like eternalize. And then we get to do the warp trigger. Oh. Wait, did I not trigger the other? Oh, did I draw the Subtlety? I think I drew the Subtlety and then put nothing into play. Wait, what did I put it? Hold on. Okay, I just put nothing into play. Sorry. Oculus is arguing more presence. Yeah, I think if we didn't have the second ritual trigger on the stack. Oh, I didn't sack this one. Duh. Sorry. If we didn't have the second ritual trigger on the stack, I think Oculus or Riddler would be the better option. But also, like, this just blocks super well. This just like you just don't really mind if it dies in combat. Okay, 4 cards in their hand. Subtlety this. Sorry, I'm a little spacey today, but. Alright, I'm gonna take a look at this Is It Duretti Archway deck. I feel like you're maybe missing big things. So you can Archway out Duretti, which is okay. Oh, you have the Sundering Titans. I missed the Sundering Titans. I guess Sundering Titan is kind of good at the moment. I think it's probably a bit better than it is usually. It's interesting that you have 4 Durettis and 0 Trash for Treasures too. I would think that you would probably want some kind of split. The 4th Archway seems also like not that tough to play. It seems like a good draft though. I like it. Battleship's still pretty good. Yeah, not very good against Affinity. Just mostly an anti-blink card. I feel like you want like maybe the first Instone. It's tough because it's like always good to shape anew into Battleship, but it's not always good to shape anew into Sundering Titan or Instone. You don't really have control over it if you play the multiples. Only you can play 8 battleships. Alright, they bolt my token. They make another Steel Cutter token. We got some blocks. Thanks, Mighty. Yeah, very, very cool deck. Great idea for sure. Alright, so they have 1 card in their hand. They do attack. We're going to do some blocks. Let's go and just block the non-trampler and then the trampler like this. Hard for this to go super duper wrong with them having 1 card. The last card is Mutagenic Growth, so they're going to get to trade and deal me no damage. We don't draw a permanent to put into play, but I will definitely take this Force of Negation. I can cast this Riddler here with 2 rituals in play. They have no cards. I think we're going to win this one. Yeah, we'll just go and just keep that as a blue card. If I draw a land, I can eternalize the other Fanatic, or I guess play the Oculus. I think it's just better to go for the Fanatic, right? Since we want to keep the blue card for Force. This, I know it's. I didn't want to say this, but Fnatic feels really, really good in this build. I don't know if it's the best Fnatic build we've played. I know we've tried a lot of them, but it has felt quite good. All right, just pass back. Hate green, but love Fnatic. Hell yeah. I mean, like, green really needs some, like, good, cheap, fair stuff. Like, Nantuko and Fnatic are really good, and that's kind of like the end of the list. I guess Rumble, but Rumble's like kind of more of a combo card usually. Birthing Ritual is more of a combo card, or, you know, less generically good. I don't know. It just needs something, like a good one drop maybe. Okay, we're on the play. This hand is okay. I think we have a lot of better sixes. We have a K command, so this is probably a better 6. Yeah, maybe one day they'll unban Deathred Shaman. Green Sun for Dryad, yeah. Not very good. It's okay. Yeah, see, black has Cecil now. Black has Goyf. Blue has Tamio. Red has Ragavan DRC. White has Guide Pride. Green just doesn't have a playable 1-mana creature, really. Like, Halfling is just not very good. Okay, so maybe an Emery here. Any game for Essence Flux? I think that you have too many non-creature spells if you play Flux. I think it's okay that we have the Ritual as our, like, enabler, and I don't think that I'm really hurting for like another one, honestly. I believe in my boy Elvish Reclaimer. I'm so soured on Reclaimer. Although I will pick it in cubes sometimes. An aggressive one drop doesn't really make sense for green. I think that's an interesting angle where, like, green is a lot of players think of green as the color of big creatures, but in reality, green is the color of weird combos. I want to be able to get waste off this, so just Ritual here. Hex Trigger's not very good, not playable. There's like so much removal that kills a level 2 Hex Drinker. It used to be the case that like level 2 Hex Drinker dodged most of the main removal. And once that stopped being the case, it just Hex Drinker became not considerable anymore, really. I was thinking that I might get to K command for 0 on a Steel Cutter, but then I drew the Ritual. Okay, that's true. Grazer is pretty goated. Young Wolf is the green one drop. So I guess one thing I more so mean is that green is playable in Modern, but basically every playable green card is some kind of combo card. There are very, very few. I think I'm just gonna main phase the K command. There are very few like playable green cards that are not like cheating on mana or comboing in some way. And I think even I want this Force. I think I really need like at least minimum a land, but like maybe land plus anti-casual, maybe Riddler. Catch back up here. It's like almost every playable green card is a combo card in some way. Birthing Ritual, Primeval Titan, Arboreal Grazer, Malevolent Rumble, Utopia Sprawl. It's just like mana accelerants and combo cards. Green doesn't have like good generic fair cards. And maybe that's fine. You know, maybe that's not the end of the world or whatever. But I think it would be nice to be able to play green in some of the fair decks. Yeah, Myco Spawn, you know. Shepherd's not legal in Modern. I like starting town a lot on this list, but man, it seems so unhinged to see it in Modern. Yeah, it is. It is pretty funny how we're starting to play it more. But it is just this is just 2-color Eldrazi card, and then maybe not green red because they have Grove of the Burn Willows. But for the most part, that's kind of all this card is. Repeal Aether Spellbomb. I guess I'm taking the Aether Spellbomb and maybe conceding. Which modern decks are fair? So when we say fair, what I tend to mean is aggro mid-range control decks that are not trying to have some like particularly busted synergy to overpower your opponent. I do think this line gets a little bit blurred because a lot of these decks tend to try to play like a small like busted thing like To the Narrative into Wrath the Skies, or a Johnny plus Goblin Bombardment, or Solitude plus Ephemerate. So it's like, I do think the line of like what's fair and not fair is blurred, but this is like an archetype. When I say fair, I mean aggro mid-range control, and it's a short way to say that. And then unfair is combo big mana. So it's just a faster way to group these archetypes, because these are really the 5 archetypes in Magic: aggro, combo, mid-range, big mana, control. Big mana combo. Like, really every deck falls into one of these 5 archetypes, and then a lot of times you'll see decks that are blends of the two. OBV with the 24 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Is Goryo's fair? Goryo's is combo. But then Goryo's a lot of times builds themselves like they're like combo mid-range or combo control. But Goryo's is combo. I tend to... That's combo is unfair is how you kind of group those together, or how I group them together. And so it's a little less important to get super lost in the semantics. The important thing is that you, as my dear sweet chatters, know what I mean when I say things. That's more important than anything else, really. I kind of want to play an Emrakul. Is that crazy? I think it's a little crazy when I bring in all these sideboard cards. Okay, I want no subtleties. Force? I play a Consign. I feel like against this build I don't like Consign as much. Yeah, I usually view Tempo as mid-range, like just this, like literally just the same thing. Endurance is kind of good against Tamio, then also can be okay against Emery, although I kind of hate that stuff against Emery. I guess the Seers are kind of bad. Let me try 1 Seer, play 1 Emrakul. We're like a pretty good Emrakul deck because of Fanatic and Rumble. Green is eternally a support color because it can't ever interact on the stack or board outside of artifact enchantment. Hate. So the thing is, green does should in theory, I think green should get really good proactive threats, and green does not get. So here's like the reality of green is in the color pie, green should get good proactive threats. This should be part of its color pie experience. The reality is that. Also part of green's color pie is that green is their threats are simple. Their threats are kind of vanilla and big, right? And because their threats are simple, they don't see play because simple creatures just get deleted. Vanilla creatures get deleted, or vanilla creatures with like that are just big aren't very good. So I would kind of like to see green come back to having really powerful threats, but threats that are complex enough that they can keep up. I don't know if that makes sense, but I tried to articulate that the best I could. I think of Tempo as aggro combo hybrid. Honestly think of Tempo just as mid-range. I think Tempo is mid-range with counter spells, and then mid-range is mid-range with discard spells a lot of the times, or like Rock is mid-range with discard spells. So I think these are just subgenres of the mid-range archetype. But again, it's just not that important to categorize them. Just you can categorize them you like, however you like. Just know what I mean when I say it, so you can understand me. Titan players everywhere agree. So yeah. Like obviously it has some, but usually the complex creatures are reserved for like higher mana values. But like green typically doesn't get very complex low mana value creatures, and usually low mana value creatures have to be kind of complex to see play. Hexproof not good enough. Well, yeah, they almost never put hexproof on good creatures. Did anything happen in the last week to start Cutter being played more, or is it variance to run twice in the start? At variance, I think. Yeah, that's another thing is like green isn't even really the color of high power and toughnesses anymore. Let me take explosives over. Well, no. We could just go Riddler Ritual next turn. Do they give anything hexproof? Hexproof is like I think even a lot more rare. I think hexproof is it's mostly replaced by ward, right? Like its ward is a lot more common than hexproof now. So an opal will be scary because then they could have rebuke up here. Yeah, I will say when I was first starting playing Magic, I was playing a lot of RTR Innistrad Standard, and like the biggest blight on that format was, um, it was the Boggles deck. Like that, I just thought that deck was so lame. I would sideboard so much hate for it. I just could never win. All right, let's find something good. Okay, we hit an Oculus, pretty good. So we could rumble into Vestige and hit it next turn. Okay, got the player reward packs. The second. Why are these? I guess it was Labor Day yesterday. I'll put Riddler here. Probably a bit better. Wait, if I manifest a Thought-Knot Seer, can I double Temple? I guess I should be able to, right? For its mana cost. Okay, not converted. Still think I want the Riddler, but yeah, I like having Ward. I think Ward is a pretty good like fixed hexproof. Okay, I can cast that again pretty easily. Seems like they're stumbling a bit. We're down to 14. They have 5 cards in their hand. No land to play. Let's get ready to rumble. I guess I'll tap like this. Yeah, I'm not really basically ever going to cast second rumble or really another green card here, I think. Would I want to cast Fanatic? I almost want the Fanatic in the yard more than I want it in play, but I have too many lands. Yeah, I'll just take Fanatic. Bit of a brick. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in double blocking, even though this is a Riddler. I'm also kind of interested in Thought-Knot Seeing them. I think I'm just gonna keep the Oculus in play instead. They have plenty of cards in hand. I just want the board presence. Okay, -1 Fade from history, so only 1 left in the deck. Would green need something more than simple combat keywords for like I don't know. I mean I don't want to just design custom Magic here, but like I think it's kind of bullshit that like Nethergoyf is way bigger than any green creature can be. I think it's lame that like Guide of Souls is way bigger than any creature can be. Onslaught Pride is bigger. Channeler is bigger. Like they just like cheat to get bigger, you know. And it's like I think green can also have like more mechanics like this instead of just them being bigger without you jumping through hoops. So probably going after the they don't go after the birthing ritual, really? I get to block the 4/4, and I think we could take 6 against this deck, kind of easy. Okay, rumble. Grab the Vestige. Gonna leave the Oculus back. So we hit another Vestige or a Riddler. I think I'm gonna take the Riddler so that I have an extra look at a blue card here. Oh, I should have stacked the triggers differently though. Okay, still get to put this into play. Well, maybe putting the Fanatic into play was better, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry. Little oopsie. Did not find the blue card either. Should still be in very good shape this game, huh? Notably, we put our Emrakul on the bottom, so we can maybe shuffle and then dig for it with the K command. They can sign my Oculus trigger, cool. 1 card in their hand, though. Is it a fair comment to say you've cast the most Fanatic of Rhonas to anyone else? I suppose so, although I don't think you'll see me bragging about that. Alright, 1 card left. Don't feel like we're gonna die here. Maybe we are. They do have another card. Shepherd isn't legal in Modern, but it's something like that. Complex cards, so just more complex is the summary there. Would be cool. Okay, 1 card. I'm at 8 life. The last card should be a spell. It's a Mox Amber. So yes, very alive here. Spawn token goes in front of the non-tramplers pretty well. We get to go block. 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 Go to 5. That was a real attackers are for or math is for blockers moment, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we just play Oculus and hold up the K command. I guess I play the Vista. We should have at least 3 blockers here, if not 4. If we should wait probably 4. We're gonna find something off the Riddler plus the removal. I think this should be fine to get in and set up for lethal next turn. I guess we had lethal next turn with only 1 attack. Okay, so let's go ahead and I think sack this into a Vestige. So we can sack the Vestige into something. Oh, we don't find anything. Okay. So say no to this. Then we get to go double manifest. Green will probably get the 1-drop push with image 4. I mean, yeah, that would be nice. But I mean, as far as probably goes, I guess, like, I think it's even kind of likely image 4 doesn't happen at this point. I'm not in favor of image 4 happening. And like I think image 2 was like uniquely good. I think image 2 was uniquely good because we were in a modern format that was awful, and so being able to reset the format with image 2, which was also the best designed of the sets in my opinion, where with the exception of Grief, every card every card in the set you could be pretty good against if you wanted to be. I think image sets, they have a place there, but I don't think that they are good just to keep churning out. I think image 2 was uniquely good because it again reset a pretty miserable format. There's only 12 blue cards and 17 creatures, and one of them is an Emrakul, so it doesn't really count for our ritual stuff. Image 4 is definitely happening. It's a matter of time when. My guess is after the Universe Beyond Money Train ends. The thing is, the Universe Beyond Money Train will never end. There seems to be a flaw there. Are we casting Emrakul? Very easily, I think. Or the Fanatic of Rhonas is the main way. We're a K-Command Fanatic of Rhonas Rumble deck. This is a really good Emrakul deck. It may be a little too slow on the draw. I think I'm going to not play it on the draw. I don't know. It does like stabilize. We have the sweepers. I'm going to play a couple endurances. Maybe I just even want both Emrakuls. I said, no, this sideboarding is so hard here. Easier on the play. Okay, I don't want the Seers on the draw. They have a bunch of portable holes, which is a little bit weird. I wonder if I want like a Consign. I think you can play the first Consign. You know what? Let's play the Emrakul. Can't mulligan this. Probably going to lead on the turn 1 Temple so I can just kill a token. Isn't it really likely we can have a Beyond Universe set? I don't know what that's... We're too inbred with Beyond Universe. I don't even know what any of this means anymore. Which is basically MH4 just without the name. So if it's just Modern Staple reprints is not MH4. That's Modern Masters. If it's just reprints, that's Modern Masters, not Modern Horizons. So I think I'm pretty interested in trying to play Fanatic into Warp Riddler into Fade from History. But we'll see what they do this turn. They play an Imri. So the thing is, it's like they're not particularly weak to Fade from History at the moment. But I also do have I have a lot of Mana Sinks for the Fanatic. I think I should play it anyways. Yeah, I don't think we need a reprint set. Although everyone in chat is always really thirsting for it. Like we get Baleful Strix and Modern Masters. Oh no, we're dead. Well, match 3, we find out they're Just Guy Ascendancy, we lose. This is the combo, Imri plus Ascendancy. Cool. GG's Merfolk. Cool deck. No, just reprint already modern legal cards. Yeah, they're also just not going to make modern Masters 4, but I don't know. It's you know, you can pitch this at the WotC investor meeting, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to keep this on the draw on a mulligan. I think I would probably put this back if it was a 7-card hand. I think leading on the Temple so we could possibly turn 2 Seers, probably a good idea. I only ever play, I've been playing so many Ghost Quarter decks, and like it feels like every time I don't play a Ghost Quarter deck, I play against Belcher. And then when I do play the Ghost Quarter deck, I can never seem to run into them. This matchup should be pretty good though, I think, with all the forces and counter magic post board. I played against it last night. I did lose game 1. I won the sideboard games, I think. Maybe I lost the second sideboard game. Thanks again, Merfolk, for the 21. Alright, that's not a Force of Negation. They did choose a Stern Scolding off the Archaeologist, so that counters just my Fanatic, is that right? Yeah, just my Fanatic. No land? They do have a Lotus Bloom, though. Okay, so I drew Fanatic, so let's not cast it into the Scolding. All right, resolved. So they have Goblin Charbelcher, they have Tamashi, they have Stern Scolding, they have Into the Floodmaw, and they have Disrupting Shoal. So if I take the Charbelcher, okay, how many? I have 3 turns to find a Force of Negation for the Lotus Bloom. And then we don't care about Shoal because they have to pitch Tamashi, or a Subtlety for Tamashi, maybe. Yeah, I think I take the Belcher there. We're probably gonna get there's a good chance we're gonna get Flood Mauled, so they can like dig for a land. So maybe we would also get to get rid of the Tamashi, maybe not. This ticks down. If I draw another Fanatic, I guess we'll play double Fanatic this turn, kind of begrudgingly. Hopefully that's not all we can do this turn. I'm psychic. I have a third eye. I've always had abilities, chat. But I'm helpless to change my fate. Am I surprised at how well Belcher? I didn't look at the RCQ top list yesterday, but I'm not surprised Belcher did well. I think Belcher's really good. I mean, this is kind of like how you should be thinking about Magic in general. Is like you should be thinking, what am I gonna do if I draw this? You know, your brain's got to be buzzing. All right, so this ticks down. We really need to find a K command. The K command also works because we can exile the Bloom for the Tamashi. So K command, Subtlety, Force of Negation, Thought-Knot Seer. A lot of good outs here. We have a redraw with the Riddler. Obviously a bit awkward to have these Oculi stuck in our hand. It is really nice that we have the blue pitch cards, and we have Rumble, and we have Anticasual, so that you can just like Anticasual put the Oculus into play. So you have a lot of ways to get these unstuck from your hand. So there's our Anticasual. I guess let me start off by warping a Riddler. Because if I draw Seer off this, I guess I maybe have Anticasual it into play. Can I warp both of these? I think I'm 1 short. Yeah, 1 short. Might be reading here. So we can still draw. I guess we can't draw K command anymore. But we can still draw Subtlety, Seer, or Force. Interesting chump block. Subtlety, Seer, Force. Nice. And we get to put an Oculus in play, which is always nice. Might get bounced here. Although I will, you know, we get to Subtlety the Tamashi, but We do have to find an answer still next turn. They bounce the Seer instead, which is interesting. Okay, so trigger the Oculus, nothing. So this comes down. I thought of Drowner of Hope and Displacer, this type of walls. I don't really view either card as being particularly playable. I do think that Displacer plus Anticasual is pretty interesting, but like you get to like really churn through your deck. So I'm open to it. Probably more so in like the mono white shell, of course, that we played previously. I traded Enchantress, had fun. 3-2 an idiot how to get it's not as full as Heart to Boros. You kind of if you have Leyline Scion starts, you're not too soft to Boros. But there's also not much else you could do. Welcome to Modern. If your deck isn't super good against Boros, it's a very, very hard deck to just like sideboard cards for it to be better against. I think that if you have these Leyline Scion starts, you're not that bad against it though. And then you also have like the new Portable Hole helps a lot as well. So you have options, but so we got maybe really lucky that they sacked the Lotus Bloom here. We know that they have a Shoal. We don't know any of their other 3 cards. They do put the Tamashi on top, which means that they probably don't have another Tamashi in their hand. They play a tap land here, so they are going to have enough mana because they have the white sources to... they are going to be able to try to go off. So I have 8 mana, 9 Eldrazi mana. Let me go ahead and just attack with my Oculi and my Manifest token first. I guess I could have cast a spells to play around another bounce spell. So 9 Eldrazi mana. Which puts me at 1 short of playing the Riddler also here. Right, I think I'm going to start off with the Seer. If we can just take their payoff, then the Tamashi does matter less. Although they have the Seagate, so maybe that's not a good attitude to have. Okay, so they can counter a 7-drop here. Okay, I'm just going to take the Seagate. So we get to draw 2 off the Riddler. So... okay, we do find Force of Negation, but we don't have double blue up. We don't have double blue up. And I can't cast the Vestige or anything, or just this, so... now, so they're going to go Tamashi and... they're going to go Tamashi and they get to make 8 mana, right? I guess they get to make 10 mana because they get to replay a land. I guess 11 because one of them's untapped. So 11 mana. So I guess they're not going to be able to win off this Seagate Reborn. They're not going to have enough, right? Damn, everyone is dropping green from my list already. What are you talking about? I mean, they may have just drawn. They had 2 looks at a Whir or a Belcher. Although his Whir needs 10 mana, and they have 11, so they have enough. So it looks like their trainer looking for the Belcher. This was one of their draws. They find a Sink, which is interesting. I really like playing against Blue Belcher. I know not everybody is this way, but it's like weirdly one of my favorite decks to play against. Oh, how I wish I could Ghost Quarter them. I just always run into them when I'm not playing a Night Steel deck. They bounce a Thought-Knot Seer. They get to draw a card. They still have, so they have 3 plus 4. So they if they drew a Belcher off the Seer, they would have exactly enough to Belcher me. Now, notably, one of my Manifest tokens is a Subtlety. I don't think the other one's relevant. Yeah, one is a Subtlety, so we do have like a secret 2 lethal attackers here that they might not account for. So they might like bounce my Oculus and try to survive, and we just kill them with Subtlety. Yeah, the mono black build looks really cool too. I'm probably gonna get to it today, but I also really like this one. So we'll see. Okay, so yesterday when I played this matchup, I really wanted to board in the Emrakuls. I ended up cutting the Subtleties. I boarded in these 5 cards, and I think I trimmed a Vestige. And I kind of regretted not playing an Emrakul. I guess they're just gonna have consigns was the problem. Versus twins in the last 5-0 dump. I have been thinking about twin a little bit lately. I've been thinking about it some. You know, one of the biggest issues with twin when it was unbanned was that it was just like laughably a much worse combo than breach. But now Underworld Breach is banned, and I guess it is just by default the best combo you could play. Not that there's like a bar to clear really anymore. I keep thinking about getting Jeskai Ascendant Seed last round. Best combo is VV Cauldron. Well, in Modern at least. I mean, I don't think these VV Cauldron decks are very good in Modern. I was kind of wondering, like, does Psychic Frog... Can Psychic Frog... I don't know. I wonder if Psychic Frog can do much, maybe. That's not much of a thought. I think this hand is a mulligan, but let me just do a calculator. We have kind of just an easy calculator this time. So we're just on the draw. Sample size 2, and we have 21 lands to hit. 65%. I think 65% to have a good hand is worse than your mulligan, but interesting to look at. I'm going to keep this. I guess we'll put back the Vestige. Yeah, I'll take a peek at the Grixis Twin. Yeah, Consult I think is a really good twin card. Don't know if I would play the full 4 twins if you have Consults. The Thought Seasons are kind of weird too. Honestly, like Consult the Star Charts twin just sounds so fun. Maybe consigning this was good. This fails us almost every time you mull just mull one-landers. You just lose the game usually when you miss. Okay, the calculator has turned many, like, I feel like the calculator has been really good. To say that it fails us almost every time is just, you just say you don't believe in math, but we've had a lot of, like, mathematical keeps. Also, like, you can't say just mull every one-lander. Like, this is a one-lander, and it's a mull to 6, and it's a definite keep. That Modern is a format that just has a lot of one-landers in your range of keepable hands. You gotta open your minds. All right, let me rumble over Ritual here. Rigby with a 22. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, they shoal this, pitching a shoal. Hear me out. Is it Belcher, half Rituals, half Twin? Yeah, I mean, those are definitely words I kind of recognize. Okay, so we're consigned to blue mana here. So we can cast Riddlers, Subtleties, Counter Magic. I boarded out the Subtleties. That's... You might need the Subtleties if they have these in. Another thing too, like the big thing with one-landers that you have to understand, in Modern, you must keep high upside hands in bad matchups. Like, a lot of times you just have a bad matchup, you have a very specific kind of hand that could win. This usually involves sideboard cards or sometimes like a very aggressive hand. And you just have to keep the hands that can win in matchups that are bad. If it's just if all you're missing is lands, a lot of times like you just have to keep and hope for the best. Let's go basic forest. I do have we are a Vista deck, so we have 3 forests in the deck. The colorless cards are going to be tough though. So this is 5. So we're on a 3-turn clock. Keep forgetting that I can't pause. I think you can pause on Twitch now, but I think the feature is pretty bad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the game is just different than it used to be. All right, I think we pitch Force. Tezzeret's cool to see. Well, I mean, this is a funny card to draw. I can't cast the K command still. I could cast a Thought-Knot Seer. We're taking 5 down to 4, so I guess if I can stick any creature, then any creature does allow me to block to live for a turn. So any any creature is castable. Any creature allows me to live. I guess that's technically... Oh, this lets me cast K-Command. This has been a hilarious game. Okay, so let me take the Riddler. And hope that we can find a land, maybe? I think I gotta cast the Riddler here. Okay, draw 2. We're so back, baby. Now I can only K-Command for 1 right now. Then we hit an Oculus, which is perfect. So maybe my opponent has another Belcher as their last card. But beyond that, we're doing really good all of a sudden. They bounced my Oculus. They can't? Are they going to lose their Harbinger by attacking with everything? I don't think that would make a lot of sense. I think they maybe can attack with Tamashi. Oh, yeah, maybe they want the Harbinger to die so that they can Tamashi back Belcher. Maybe I'm like, block here, K-Command, just X equals 1, just cycle it. Don't think I need to exile the Harbinger if I just, or the Belcher if I just leave this in play. Although I guess a problem with that is I'm gonna have to. Yeah, actually let's block like this. This is bad if my opponent's last card is a counterspell that can counter K-Command. I'm gonna scry draw, I'm gonna exile the Belcher. Then go to 3. I think I want counter magic badly here. So I'm down to 3. They have 1 card in their hand. The Belcher's been exiled for the Tamashi. This has been a great game. Another Birthing Ritual, so I have 7 mana, which is exactly enough to play all of the cards in my hand. That's usually good. Let's see if this Oculus resolves, I suppose. Then we might as well Riddle first, because if I draw Consign, I'm going to want to hold that up instead of playing this other ritual. Don't, so we'll just play another ritual. Probably taking Thought-Knot Seer over anything else. Maybe you could get greedy with a Vestige. There's a Vestige. The thing is with Vestige, I get to like sack Vestige and put another Vestige into play. I guess I don't get to sack that one this turn. I think I'm gonna go for the Vestige here. Okay, and yet I brick on creatures. They were all in the other pile. Although, you know what? Let's just still sack it. So yeah, nothing here. So I was trying to resolve the other one. Okay, just keep it going. Am I intentionally mispronouncing Vestige? Okay, I just can't live my life like this, chat. Okay, how is it pronounced? It's Vestige. Vestige. Sorry, I should have. I'm sorry that it bothers y'all so much. All right. 14 plus 5 is lethal. It's a little bit risky to send with everything, but they like, yeah, they're just always gonna block this. The thing is, if they block Tamashi here, then we get to flip and kill it. So that's gotta be worth it, right? Oh no, what happened? Oh, okay. Let me untap it, thankfully. Got a little bit of lag there. Okay, so Tamashi down. This does mean that we don't have K commanded up anymore. Does Ritual not see the other... yeah, it doesn't see the other side of the manifest creature, no. Alright, let me sack one of these, get this Thought-Knot Seer into play. Then want to resolve the Seer before the Vestige, probably. Vestige. Sorry. Gonna be a silent stream from now on. So Floodball and a Tamashi. I think we have to take the Tamashi so they don't just beat me with a top deck Whir. I mean, they're gonna get the Floodball lets them draw a card, but there's just honestly not that many cards that even do anything here. Alright, don't think I want a Fanatic that bad, so let's say no to sacking a creature. If they top deck Belcher, I guess if they bounce the Seer, yeah, if they bounce the Seer, then we get to KK the Trainer if they just top deck Belcher. I guess they could draw Whir into Belcher here. But also if they drew Whir, it was still really bad for us. If they, like this, you know, they didn't draw the Whir. Good game. How are we at 3? They got kind of aggro earlier. They harbingered me, and then I was lucky to draw some basics, but I was very close to just getting beat down by a Tamashi, a Thunder Trap Trainer, and a Harbinger. All right, 2-1. Got surprise combo killed by Just Guy Ascendancy, but the deck is pummeling along here. Ah, a K command and an Eldrazi Temple. You know what we call that? A keep. I will ask why the Emrakul. Emrakul's super castable in this deck. We're a Fanatic of Rhonas K command Rumble deck. Emrakul's super castable, and you really want it against Blink. Maybe Sam combo. Apparently Sam combo did well over the weekend. There's a Young Wolf. Oh, little Athena. Definitely keeping that. It's a great hand. Like, if I don't take the Seer, then... Or the Safekeeper, then it's going to be so hard to get anything. Yeah, they usually have 2 sack outlets. I think I'm going to take the Sam. And I might want to Subtlety one of their 1-drops here. Take Chord, Subtlety, Sam. Yeah, I don't know. Like, deleting the Sam feels kind of good. Yeah, I guess the problem with Subtleting the Seer is they still get to just go Seer, Chord for a 1-drop next turn. I like Rintu, or I think Rintu is something you can build around. For the most part, the set is bad for Modern. There's not a lot of Modern playable cards. Rintu is on the list of considerable Modern cards, though. So I have 3 mana after this. And maybe I'm getting my payment here for saying I always like to play against Sam combo. Hand was so good. Okay, so they can go Chord for Sam, end of turn Chord for something else. Do I think airbending will be a good mechanic for Modern? I can't remember what it does. I always have the attitude that there are no good mechanics, there are only good cards. I encourage you to have that attitude too. I try not. I guess we could just try to dig really hard for a Thought-Knot Seer off the Birthing Ritual. Yeah, I am of the opinion that there are no good mechanics, there are only good cards. So just try to identify the good cards and worry less about the mechanics. Chord for Sam, Chord for Cat GG. Well, they can't Chord for both this turn, right? Yeah, they're going to be 1 short. But Dredge, yeah, there are cards that say Dredge 1, Dredge 2 that are unplayable. I know that one's obviously a lot more simple, but yeah, there are good dredge cards and there are bad dredge cards. There are also bad storm cards. It's, you know, there's really no exceptions to this rule. We've had this conversation too many times. Yeah, there are like companion is close to the exception, but Imori is really bad. You know, it's like there are maybe 9 good companions and 1 bad one, but it's still. What's partner? Another ritual. So we could draw the Seers. We're going to do this first. I guess now we... Yeah, have to do this so we could hit Seer and cast it, or cast the ritual. Take another Riddler, and then... play this. Get in with the Seer. So we have 12 more looks at one of our 2 more Seers. And then we could maybe also draw a Force of Negation off of cards that draw cards. So although we find the Seer. So look at the cards. Okay. Sack the Riddler. Is the implication that there are no bad mechanics? Well, I don't have any car work to be done soon, but there may be. I hear there are some bad ones. So they could, if they have another Dryad Arbor, they could court for another Arbor, I guess. Didn't they have just got a forest and then courted for the Arbor? Okay, so I could turn a Thought-Knot Seer into an Oculus, but I think instead, let's just not give them the card. These Seers are also beating down really well here. Oh, no bad mechanics. Sorry, I don't know why I thought you were making like a like a car mechanic fun. Yeah, I don't know. Like I think that any mechanic can have a good card. Can have a good card with the mechanic on it. There may be some mechanics that have no good cards with their mechanic on them, but that doesn't mean that that can't exist. Okay, so they are scrying 1 after sacking the Arbor. We just need to dodge 3rd Court of Calling. We can, you know, at least for a turn, Subtlety a Cauldron Familiar. Wait, Sink into Takenuma is a real card? It's like Sink, it's like Takenuma and Sink and Stupor mixed together. What Mutate? Well, Mutate's had some competitive success despite me. Like there's a difference between mechanics that you don't like and mechanics that are uncompetitive. Sweep. Return any number of swamps to their owner's hand. Okay, that might be a bad mechanic. I haven't seen this one. Return it so it's it just returned any number of this type of thing. That one might be bad. The target player discards a card for each swamp returned this way. All right, they do bottom a card off the Seer after some deliberation. Wait, did they draw Cauldron Familiar? They're tapping for a black. No, it's a Fatal Push. Okay, so they get a redraw here. Another black mana for a Viscera Seer. So Viscera Seer. Heard it both ways, actually. Okay, we'll let that resolve. And they're getting aggro. Interesting. Probably won't matter much attack or not attack here. I guess they're gonna block and scry. So I drew a blue card, which lets me Oculus and Riddler. Could I also just double Oculus? Looks like I'm 1 card short, although I probably just wouldn't want to do that anyways. They do put a card on the bottom. Since we're not drawing the card off the extra card off the Riddler, we might as well play this first instead of trying to empty our hand, just to see if maybe we draw the K command. We'd want to hold that up instead. All right, so we get 2 ritual triggers here. Riddler for Riddler. This one does stay in play, of course. Force of Negation is the best thing we could see into our hand here. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and... Well, don't want the extra flyer. I think I just want the better thing to sack to the ritual next turn. Barrel down Sokanzon. Return any number of mountains you control to their owner's hand. Deals damage to target creature. Okay, if that was target player, it would be so nice. Twice the number of mountains returned. Alright, 1 on the bottom. Sacks of food. So that 15, and we have 16, I guess more than that. Okay, way more than that. Manifesting another vestige. Yeah, let's go ahead and Subtlety the Goose. Buys them a good amount of time. So let me just sit in with the team and see maybe if they don't expect the second vestige here. Alright, so flipping this is 9 plus 7, 16. So this forces them to sack the food token. Is that particularly relevant? I don't think it's too bad to do this. We do still lose to top deck Court of Calling. Oh, I can't. But I can't. Okay, Judge, should I be able to temple for this? Why can't I temple for this? Oh, it's not an Eldrazi spell or ability. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. You know, I think it is just better still to... It's just better to, like, be able to draw a K command to exile a Seer, Cauldron Familiar. Oh, that doesn't even work because they have the extra food, so... I guess it doesn't really matter either way. I guess a K command could, Okay, put one card on the bottom. A K command could maybe find me a Force of Negation. Yeah, definitely really telegraphed. Not that matters. Yeah, I know I can, but I think I just am pivoting my plan anyways. Not casting the Oculus, so I have the blue card, of course. Okay, we'll just go ahead and flop another one into play. They have no cards in their hand, so I think we might as well take the Riddler just so we have an extra look at a K command or K command or Force of Negation. I'm really happy with this deck. Okay, we found the Force. This I think this is the evolution of Simic Ritual. It's just the same idea, but like way more powerful. Which seems like a pretty good description of the deck, or a pretty good pitch for the deck. Same as existing modern deck, but way more powerful. Was working on this one for a long time. All right, up a game against Sam combo. So I think I want the explosives. Endurance not so good against them. Emrakul's kind of interesting, probably a little too slow. With the explosives, I do have an answer. I guess using this as an answer to ritual is a bit awkward in my own ritual deck. I think I'm gonna go down 1 force. I think I still want probably 2 subtleties. I think on the draw we go down a Seer. Interested in having another one on the play. Maybe down an Oculus on the draw. Those looks like losing Flight Harbinger isn't free. Yeah, it's of course not free. I just think that I love that you get to put so many beefy flyers and just beefy creatures into play against Boros, which seems to be a big deal too. Flair's also like we still have 0 mana counter spells. Flair's not that special. Endurance isn't very good at stopping their combo because all it really counters is a single food token. If like a Cauldron Familiar is in the yard, all they need is 1 more food token to just keep going off. Goodbye, sweet Kozilek's command. And hello to a new one when I get Thoughtseize bugged. They took Fanatic? Dang, Zach. Someone respecting Fanatic of Rhonas. Let's go. I always feel like I love playing Birthing Ritual decks. At some point, someone cites it, answers to Ritual deck falls apart. Do you feel like that's the case with this deck? I think, of course not. This deck is just really good at hardcasting your gigantic creatures and playing K command. I think this deck is like really, really good at functioning without Birthing Ritual in play. I do think I'm going to play a Ritual this turn and save the K command. This deck, I think this deck is super good at just. Okay, you've killed my Birthing Ritual, you played a cage, I don't really care. Checked an hour ago, talking about how happy you are to play against Sam Combo, and now we're playing against it. Yeah. I do really like to play against Sam Combo. Our matchup might not be super good here, but happy enough. Alright, so they have their own. Is splashing white for Ephemerate instead of C for K command an option, or is K command too strong? We have built and played Bant Birthing Ritual. You can find that list in the Mox field. The idea is you know I think if you're playing Anticasual Vestige, I think you really want to be playing Eldrazi Temple, especially alongside Oculus. You could just go on turn 3, Vestige, Oculus into play. I think that is a really important dynamic to maintain. Since that's an important dynamic to maintain, since you're playing Eldrazi Temple in your modern deck, you should put a very ban-worthy card in K command into your build. This card is broken. You should play it, you know, if you're already playing Eldrazi Temple. And Vestige is really, really good in this build. It's just so good with Oculus. It's so good with Ritual. It's so good with Riddler and the Ritual stuff. Just really, really liking it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the Bowmaster then. Sam combo with Vial. Sounds kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen it. I like to find an explosives. Riddler, Vestige. Riddler or Vestige. I could just play. Ooh. I guess I want to keep the Oculus to put into play off the first trigger here. Yeah, but I could play this and the Ritual next turn. Yeah, I heard somebody did well with Dork Masters. I heard someone did well yesterday in the RCQ. Ooh, should I have played around Thoughtseize better? I guess so. Hopefully it's like just a Seer. Seems like maybe they have Familiar and Seer. Okay, they have Haywire Might. And they can kill one of my Rituals, but I have the backup. Is the combination of Vestige plus Mimic might be? Oh, you know what? That Vestige Mimic's kind of cool. It probably wouldn't be that good, but it is cool. So they don't have any combo pieces in play at the moment, which is good. They do have 3 spells in their hand. Okay, there's a Sam. That actually is a combo piece in their deck. Alright. A Ritual. So looking mostly for a Thought-Knot Seer, I guess. Don't find one of those. I'm gonna let the Riddler trigger resolve first, because if I find a Subtlety, I probably won't put this into play. Okay, so maybe we just need to survive a turn, and then explosives on 1 or 2 will be good enough to take this one down. I don't know if we're gonna be able to survive this turn, of course. Fanatic for Subtlety, probably Fanatic. Just try not to explosives on 2 before I flip this. So they find a land. They probably do have a black creature, right? Because they tap black last turn. So here's one. So we're dead to Court of Calling at the moment. And they have the Court of Calling. So let's just go ahead and go to game 3. So I think I want to play, I want the 3rd Seer. I think I want to go down a Subtlety since all their creatures are so teeny tiny. Honestly, maybe Force of Negation is better than Subtlety since all their creatures are so teeny tiny. I also kind of think an Emrakul on the play is good. I think the games are going to go kind of a little bit longer, and I think our deck is really good at casting Emrakul between Fanatic, Rumble, K Command. Right, definitely keeping this. Looks good. Yeah, endurance is not good. All endurance, it's like 2 cards to basically counter 1 food. Because if you target the Cauldron Familiar, they just sack it. If they just have another food, they can start the combo again, and it's not that tough for them to have a second food. Oddly enough, consigning the creation of food is something can stall them. Yeah, but it's like it's so anemic. I'm gonna force this. I really want them to play into the explosives. So we'll take the Seer. Also, Spiteful Banditry in the Enchantress sideboard. Or in the sideboard of Enchantress for Boris. Okay. Card, Spiteful Banditry. When the enchantment enters, it deals X damage to each creature. Whenever 1 or more creatures your opponents control die, make a treasure. Ability triggers once each turn. It could be fine. I think it's a cool tech for sure. Okay, a lot of options. I think I kind of like playing explosives on 2, and then if all they do is play a 1-mana creature, maybe I just like K-command it. Either way, I am interested in setting up for the Oculus next turn. So maybe just a little bit leaning towards the explosives. Although I don't know, maybe Thought-Knot Seer is better next turn. I feel like you've only mulliganed once to stream. I've definitely mulliganed more than once, but deck is going well. I agree. Saxon artifact of my choice. Okay, thank you for the 2-for-1. Yeah, I think if they just play like any creature, maybe they only have two mana value creatures in their hand. So 4 cards left after they play this Wooded Foothills. I guess if I draw land, I can K command a Sam and then play an Oculus. They graveyard a Sam. It's interesting. They have 4 cards in their hand. One of them is just a Haywire Might. Yeah, let me just slam a Seer here. Figure out what we're working against. Yeah, just say no thank you to that. Their hand is just a Cauldron Familiar, just a Catacombs, and then a new card. There's the Familiar. There's the Catacombs. They do have Dryad Arbor in their deck. I quake in fear at the thought of it. I'm kind of interested in like just main phase K command the cat scry draw and then try to find a land for me to play Fanatic. I think that sounds good enough to me. You know, their combo is of course 3 cards, so just anytime you delete one of the 3 cards, it's pretty good. If they top deck the Court of Calling, they top deck the Court of Calling. Bottom that. Don't draw the land. That's okay. Pass to you. Mr. Tasty with the 6 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They do get a Surveil. And they keep a card on top. I like how you took the blue-white Riddler, Eldrazi Band, and slapped it in Civic Ritual deck. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good like way to like kind of showcase how the brewing process works. You know, we had the blue-white build from yesterday, which was like solid. But like me building that build allowed me to like better have the mana for this build. It's like it's just how the ideas, they just keep expanding and expanding. It's very fun. Thanks again, Mr. Tasty, for the 6. So they drew a Godless Shrine. They've got 1 card in their hand. They're sure thinking a long time for someone who has nothing. But if they had Court of Calling, I guess they could still Court for 2. Okay, I'm trying to Rumble here. Starting town. Okay, I guess we'll take this so we can play Oculus. You like to design a Fanatic, MH3 designers, at least cook the 2 drops. Yeah, I think Fanatic is good. I think that it's the kind of card that really sparks excitement, and you're like, oh, there's not that many good 4-power creatures in Modern. At least that was my experience with it. Yeah, it's not, you know, as much as I dislike Image 3, there's definitely a good amount of good cards in the set. So would love to see a flyer off the Oculus. I do think they're gonna cord for a salmon of turn. I don't think our opponent like thinks that long. Although every time I play against an opponent like this, I remember I played against this Hunter Burton. I played against this like kid who like maybe was like 18, and like they like and they just on one random turn they just drew a card and then they counted Court of Calling Mana with their eyes. Like they just counted the Court of Calling Mana with their eyes, and they did not draw Court of Calling that turn. But like I just remember super duper underestimating them and thinking for sure that was a Court of Calling. And it wasn't. And I think I even lost that game because I played around Court of Calling too hard. I was just so impressed. So they do have to block both of my... Okay, now they can go to 9. So they have to only block my Seer. Or I guess they could sack Haywire Might, but they'll sack they'll block and sack. Alright, so I guess warp the Riddler. I guess maybe should I play the Fanatic first? I think the problem with playing Fanatic first is I can draw a card, but I can't really do anything with the card. Okay, so now we will try to get them to sack the Haywire Might before I play the Ritual. We really do not want to see our opponent scrying anything to the top. They're going to block with the Haywire Might. Right? What am I missing? I'm attacking for 11. Yeah. So they're going to sack the Haywire Might, go to 8, then take 7. Put this on the bottom. Put this on the bottom. They're thinking about it. I bet it's a birthing ritual. They put it on the top. Ah! Wait, why do they think that long if they put it on the top? Maybe just some lag? They're at 1. What can I even hit? Like nothing? That's not good. Maybe that's a fatal push on top? That doesn't make any sense. They would only top cat. I think so, but the thing is, like, why would it take them so long to top it, right? Well, yeah, I mean, they should only take one of those two. And then, you know, I'll go ahead and put the Seer into play for an extra lethal attacker next turn, but it's not like this does anything because the card is on top, not in their hand. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna go see what happens. I'm gonna go to the bathroom too real quick. Oh, I was right. It was birthing ritual. I was right. Why did they keep it? Doesn't make any sense. I knew that they would. I knew that they would see birthing ritual and think about it, but it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like the amount of time they thought about it, like the only card they could think that long was birthing ritual, but they, you know, they thought long and they thought wrong. All right, let's get a 4-1 prediction. Deck's going well. We lost to surprise Jeskai Ascendancy game 3, but I woke up buzzing to play this deck, and I'm glad it's going well. Great hand, snapping it off. I can turn 3 K command X equals 4. And everyone in chat goes, how do you cast Emrakul? Not that it's in the main deck, but... I did have a good morning workout, although I was trying to do 40 minutes on the bike, but I set the thing for 30 on accident, and then it let me do a 5-minute cooldown, but it didn't let me keep going. And so I did a little less, but I'm gonna go back and do abs today. Okay, so it said they were last playing Through the Breach, which is interesting. That's an interesting draw also. So they were playing a Cavern Seer. Oh, Terminal Velocity, yes! Yes, no, it's interesting to see Terminal Velocity in the blue-red version, because you're a little bit worse at like getting to 6 mana, but you're still like a K command lab deck. Maybe it's just fine. They rebanned my Fanatic. Gross. Turn 1 reband. All right, let's K command. Try to dig for a Force of Negation. Really feels like this deck is a breakthrough. It feels like we haven't had a breakthrough in a couple weeks. So maybe they have their own K command. Not Force of Negation, not Force of Negation, not Force of Negation. That's an interesting one, though. So let's start off by warping a Riddler. Then play a Ritual. Then warp a Vestige. Might all be for naught. Might just be getting through the breach next turn. Although they have, it has to be Emrakul. Has to be Emrakul. Okay, the trigger is on the stack opponent. Okay, so I see another Riddler. Oh, sorry, I should have stacked a little different. Yeah, I think I'll just get this back into play here. Thanks, opponent. Your turn. So if they do through the breach me this turn, I guess they could maybe... Okay, they imprint a Devourer. So if it's Ulamog, I Annihilator 7, and I have 7 permanents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I guess we'll play it out. I do have a Fanatic in my hand. Too bad I drew Subtlety and not Force of Negation. I can Subtlety the Devourer if that's all they have too. If we draw green swords here, I'm feeling okay. Although, okay, so they have 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I for some reason I thought this was templated like fast lands. I didn't realize that it was templated turn-based. Huh. Usually it doesn't come up, right? Oh, they have a K command? Probably not beating that. Spike learns about a standard card. Two on top, 3 on the bottom. Gonna lose. Gonna go to game 2 soon. Ah. I can't let the Resolve a stock up. You can counter stock up by conceding. Okay, so Consigns and Force in. Subtlety's out. I think that they're a little too fast for me to want the Emrakul. I think we're going to go down an Oculi. And clicks a bit. Brought in a bunch of extra blue. I guess we cut 4 blue cards. We're the same number. We're at 15, which is fine. I'm going to cut a Rumble instead of an Oculus. Although I guess it's a bit weird to do that. Yeah, let's just keep the Rumble. I cut a Rumble for an Emrakul. That's also a bit weird. Because they go well together. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think I'm overthinking it. Alright, on the play. Let's keep. When it's thinking about their 7 here, let's see if they have Gemstone Caverns again. I'd probably consign a turn 1 Talisman, so we'll play this. Dude, our opponent is teched up today. Although what's nice is we can just consign the Annihilator triggers, so it's not really all that bad. It's not exactly all that good either. So we'll try to use this Force of Negation a bit more aggressively if we can, like if we end up getting a target. A great draw. Is there any way for me to play this with force up? Not really. Uncounterable remand? Okay, remand. Alright, get in there, Fanatic. Yeah, the main reason you play Vista so it can get wastes. Alright, they Cavern on Eldrazi. Uncounterable stock up. Cost them a lot of life to do this. Oh, Null Drifter. Okay. So they're down to 14. They have to discard a card to hand size. I do really want to hold up a Consign so I don't lose to Lab through the Breach. But no, I think this is okay. I would not do this if I didn't have the backup Consign. Although, I might need to pitch the backup Consign if they consign their own Null Drifter, which they don't, thankfully. Okay, my other Consign is Super Telegraph because I'm not using the Fanatic Ferocious, but that's okay. Okay, so we will sack this to put Thought-Knot Seer into play. And then I'm going to go ahead and stack the triggers where I get to see their hand before I put something into play. They surgical my very telegraphed Consign, so get God, I guess. Fair enough. Then boarding in surgical is pretty surprising, but what are you going to do? Alright, so we will take the Through the Breach. They need a land and a Through the Breach now. They have Fluster Storm and Dispute, which are both great cards to know about. So we'll just put this Oculus in play and have Lethal in play next turn. I mean, I love this deck. It's so much fun. Okay, I don't know what they can draw. Besajus and Surgicals add up. They're already at 10. And they're dead. So we're going to game 3 on the draw here. I mean, they probably have 1 or 2 Besajus. Don't think I'm supposed to go down on Force of Negation. Yeah, let's run it. Yeah, so you're still pretty good. Kind of funny that like they printed all this Eldrazi support and the only Oath of the Gatewatch Eldrazi still playable is Seer. Despite Oath of the Gatewatch being... Oh, you know, Oath of the Gatewatch might be the most impactful set to Modern ever. Like, it might even be more impactful than a Horizon set was. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. The most impactful standard set ever. Hard to mulligan this. So it's not. They keeps a 7-card Devourer hand. What was an Oath? It was all the cheap Eldrazi that made the Eldrazi deck possible. It just wasn't really possible before Oath. They got something. I think I'm going to consign the Talisman. They might be choked on mana here. I also want to tap out for the Fanatic. Oh yeah, Cons gave the other half of the fetches. Although honestly, that did matter a lot, but you know, big fetches are so versatile. It wasn't like the biggest deal. Like as long as you have 2 of each color, you can still just build anything really. All right, so yeah, maybe we have gotten lucky and just color screwed them here. Don't draw any other spells, so let's just cast this Seer. They got 4 cards in their hand at the moment. Is there World Breaker from there? Okay, yeah, it's true. World Breaker sees a little play. Unfortunately, they have the K command. Yeah, I also gave Dig and Cruise. Yeah, maybe Cons. I think no, Cons not more impactful than Oath. Oath was just like, I don't know. Everything was so different. The most impactful set ever is Alpha. Well, we're talking about to Modern, but you know, it sure did big bang magic into existence. It's pretty impactful. So if they keep 2 cards on top, we'll know they're hiding something from our Seer, and then I guess have nothing to do with that knowledge. All right, 2 on the top, so they are hiding something. So that something is almost definitely a spell that can tap for a land that can tap for a color, right? Because even if their top card is Emrakul, they can't cast this through the breach. So I think we just have to take stock up. So they play Cavern. So you know, stock up. Through the breach remand mystery card. They kept Devourer, or is it Null Drifter? It's Null Drifter. Interesting. I guess I offered the trade. And they drew Torpor Orb, which is really good against me. Yeah, no way to get these unstuck. Offer the trade. They take it. Okay, so through the breach remand. There's the Shivan Reef. Did they draw the big thing? Got pretty flooded this game. All right, 3-2. Let's do at least one more with the stack. I'm having a lot of fun.